sort of a hint what that means? What kind of surprises we might be in store for?
Well, I think for many in the mainstream national media, the big surprise is going to come on November the 8th when Donald Trump is elected the 45th president of the United States. I got to tell you, across Ohio today and North Carolina yesterday, we're seeing incredible crowds coming out for Donald Trump. The enthusiasm that we see across this state, frankly, across the country, is like nothing I've ever seen in my lifetime. So we're going to continue to carry that message forward about making America great again, rebuilding our military, reviving our economy, having a Supreme Court that upholds our Constitution, and I like our chances come Election Day.
But you know that the crowd sizes don't really mean that much. I mean, Mitt Romney had huge crowd sizes at this point back in 2012, and he lost handily to Barack Obama. In North Carolina, Trump is down 2.1. Mitt Romney won that state by 2.2 points. Trump is down in Arizona, a reliably red state, by 1.3. Mitt Romney won that state by 10 points. Trump only leads Texas, Missouri, South Carolina, your home state of Indiana, by single digits. Mitt Romney won all of those states by 10 points or more. Isn't it true you are behind in the polls right now?
Number one, Megyn, the only poll that counts is the one we're going to finish up come Election Day. But I got to tell you, I really do think that the pollsters and the pundits are missing something in this election.
Right now, the political prognosticators are almost uniformly predicting that the GOP is going to lose the Senate. And if the GOP loses both the White House and the Senate, you and I both know that Hillary Clinton's going to be able to get all of her confirmations right through, including Supreme Court justices, and there'll be virtually no check on those. I mean, should you start changing the message a little to try to preserve at least the Senate at this point?
Well, look, my message in North Carolina yesterday, Donald Trump's message in Naples on Sunday night, is that it's time for Republicans to come home.
Just tonight, we learned that General Colin Powell, a Republican, lifelong Republican, is not coming home. Now, he says he's going to vote for Hillary Clinton, a woman of whom he was very critical in those emails that were leaked. He's not listening to you. First of all, your reaction to General Powell going Democrat in this election?
It wouldn't be the first time I disagreed with General Powell. Look, I honor his service to the country in uniform. I honor his service as Secretary of State. But if memory serves, he supported Barack Obama 8 years ago. So I'm not really sure it's particularly newsworthy that he's supporting another Democrat for the White House, even after 8 years that's weakened America's place in the world, stifled America's economy. But he's entitled to his opinion.
So other than telling them to come on board, what can he do? What can you do?
Well, I think we could just talk about the issues. We can just talk about the platform. Look, there's no question that Republicans went through this. I mean, how many candidates were there in our primary? 100, 150 of them?
That's how it felt.
It was a rough and tumble primary. And so there's some of that left over. But look, the unifier in this election is that Republicans, many independents, and frankly many Democrats know that 7.5 years of Barack Obama and Hillary Clinton style leadership has weakened America's place in the world, resulted in cutbacks in our military, stifled our economy. Obamacare is literally disintegrating before our eyes. You even have Bill Clinton calling it the craziest thing in the world.
Yep.
But Hillary Clinton says today that Donald Trump's going to rip up Obamacare, and she's absolutely right. We're going to repeal Obamacare, lock, stock, and barrel.
Why is Trump out there blaming a rigged media? And you've pointed to media bias, and it exists. There's no question it exists. The media doesn't want Trump Pence to be elected. That's very clear. But they didn't want George W. Bush to be elected, and they certainly didn't want him to be reelected, and he was. So why not take some responsibility? Why doesn't Trump look at himself and say, you know what, I was consolidating my base, but now it's down at 80, and Mitt Romney had 50% of independents, and I only have 43. Why, as Britt Hume likes to say, winners take responsibility, losers blame others. To try to blame these numbers entirely on the media being rigged is not real, is it?
Well, I think, I hear that riff a little bit, that pointing out the overwhelming bias in the national media is somehow, making an excuse. I think he's just making an observation. I mean, Media Research Center just came out with a study of media coverage. It showed that since the conventions, I think the number was that Donald Trump had gotten significantly more coverage, and more than 90% of it had been negative. I mean,
well, that's
I think
because
people
a
out
tape
there
came
know that
out
media,
showing him saying he wants to grab women by the you-know-what. I mean,
well,
you know as well as I do he does very
come on,
controversial
Megyn, long
things.
Before that.
But he does controversial things from the beginning, and in part there's been speculation about whether it's for attention, whether some of the things he says and does are to generate media attention, which you know as well as I do he loves.
Megyn, I got to tell you, most of the people I'm out campaigning with know that it's been 2-on-1 from almost the beginning of this campaign, with the media doing half of Hillary Clinton's work for her. But the amazing thing is that we continue to see this movement growing because the American people are talking to each other about the real issues in this campaign, not what the media is chasing after any given day of the week.
He's
this
talking
campaign,
about it.
and we're going to fight all the way to the finish.
Governor Pence, respectfully, and then I'll give you the floor. But Donald Trump went to Gettysburg this weekend to lay out this new agenda, you know, this contract with America, and he started it by saying he's going to sue all of the women who are accusing him. And you know as well as I do that those lawsuits will go nowhere. And you're telling me if he's the sitting president of the United States, he's going to start suing individual female citizens who have made these accusations?
Well, Megyn, look, everyone in this country is entitled to defend their own reputation and their own integrity.